My name is Maddie, 33. The church was quiet when my sister Agnes stood and stepped into the aisle. She looked straight at me. Before you say I do, I'm pregnant and it's Hudson's. The organ stalled. Chairs creaked. My father's grip tightened. Hudson's face went pale. I didn't shout. I kept breathing and counted the seconds. Source of harm? Agnes, my own sister. Then a small voice cut through the room. My 9-year-old niece, Shelley, rose with a tablet held to her chest, a green dinosaur sticker in the corner. That's a lie, she said. I can prove it. People leaned forward. The pastor froze. I felt the floor steady under my feet. If Shelley had proof, I wasn't helpless. I was about to see the truth on record. Have you ever watched a family line snap in one sentence? If quiet, true-to-life stories like this speak to you, a simple like and subscribe helps us keep telling them. The church had gone silent, as if every wall was holding its breath. Shelley's small hands trembled, but her voice stayed calm. I can prove it, she repeated, tapping the tablet. The screen lit up, washing her face in cold light. My heart hammered as I tried to understand what was happening. Agnes didn't move. Her expression stayed smooth, like someone who believed charm could undo damage. Shelley, she said softly, sweetheart, don't. But my niece didn't stop. She tapped again. A shaky video filled the silence. Agnes's voice, clear as day. It has to be at the wedding. Maximum impact, maximum humiliation. A few gasps cut through the pews. My mother's hand went to her mouth. My father looked at the screen like he was watching his child disappear in front of him. And I just stood there frozen. A bride turned into evidence. In the video, Agnes laughed. She deserves it. Little Miss Perfect. Mom and Dad always loved her more. Each word landed like glass underfoot. Someone whispered my name. I couldn't answer. The sound of my heartbeat was louder than anything else. The video kept rolling, Agnes's plan unfolding in her own voice. I felt every eye in that church turn toward me, not with pity yet, but with disbelief, like they were trying to rewrite what they'd just heard. Agnes's calm started to crack. This is ridiculous, she said, her tone high and sharp now. She's lying. She edited that. Shelley lifted her chin. You left your door open, she said simply. I heard you, so I recorded you. No one spoke. No one dared. Even Hudson didn't move. His face was gray, his jaw tight. The man I was supposed to marry looked like someone watching a bomb go off in slow motion. I wanted to scream, to demand why, but my voice wouldn't come. Everything I thought was solid, family, loyalty, love, was shifting like sand. Then the video ended. Silence again. I could feel the question hanging between us all. What kind of sister does this? And worse, what kind of family lets it happen? The sound of the video ending seemed to echo forever. Then, chaos. Voices overlapping. Some angry, some disbelieving. Someone cried. Someone prayed. The pastor's voice trembled, trying to restore order, but it was useless. The truth had already shattered everything it touched. I barely remember sitting down. My knees had given up, and I was suddenly aware of my dress, how heavy it felt, how tight the fabric was around my chest. My mother's hand landed on my shoulder, shaking. My father stood in front of me, his face pale, eyes unfocused. Across the aisle, Agnes tried to recover her mask. It's fake, she said, louder now. This is crazy. She's just a kid. Maddie, you know me. You know I wouldn't. But the next video started playing automatically. The church gasped again. Agnes's voice, unmistakable. He doesn't even know. That's the beauty of it. I'll stand up, make the announcement, and even if he denies it, the seed of doubt will be planted. I watched myself crumble in real time. Everything we'd planned, the flowers, the vows, the future, dissolved under her voice. My stomach turned. I could barely breathe. Hudson took a step toward me, but I couldn't look at him. Not yet. Mom? Shelley whispered, her voice trembling now. Should I stop? My mother couldn't answer. My father finally spoke, voice hoarse. That's enough. But it wasn't. Not for the people in that church. They'd seen too much to pretend now. Whispers grew into questions. Someone said Agnes's name like it was a curse. Agnes turned to me, eyes wild. You have to believe me. I wasn't going to go through with it. You wore the dress, my mother said quietly, each word like a verdict. You planned every detail. Agnes looked down, finally seeing what the rest of us already had. The emerald green dress cut to show a gentle curve at her stomach. Not coincidence. Costume. Evidence. Is the baby even mine? Frank's voice came from the front row. He looked broken, his face ashen. Agnes froze. Of course it's yours, she whispered. He shook his head. Don't lie to me again. No one breathed. Then, my father's voice, low, steady, unrecognizable in its finality. Get out. Daddy, out of this church, he said again. You are not my daughter. Not after this. Something inside me snapped. All my life, I'd thought pain came from accidents, misunderstandings, mistakes, words said in anger. But this wasn't an accident. It was intention, precision, cruelty crafted like a performance. Agnes looked around for mercy and found none. Her lips trembled. She turned and walked out, head down, the echo of her heels chasing her into the sunlight. Silence followed, the kind that settles after a storm when there's nothing left to break. Hudson approached me slowly. Maddie, he said, voice shaking, I swear I didn't know. I never touched her. You have to believe me. I looked up. His face was everything I'd loved, strong, kind, terrified. I believed him. I did. But I couldn't say the words. Not yet. Not standing in the ruins of what used to be our beginning. The wedding was over. The fairy tale, gone. But something inside me, something steady, quiet, alive, was just beginning to wake. I don't remember walking out of the sanctuary, only the sudden quiet of the bride's room. My mother followed me, still crying. My father closed the door and stood guard outside like he could keep the shame from spreading further. The sounds of confusion from the pews drifted through the walls, low, stunned, endless. I sat in front of the mirror, veil still pinned, mascara smudged. For the first time in my life, I didn't recognize my own reflection. The girl staring back looked older, stripped of illusions. My hands shook as I tried to unfasten the pearls around my neck, but I couldn't. They'd been a gift from Agnes. Hudson knocked once. Can I come in? I hesitated, then nodded. He closed the door behind him, eyes rimmed red. I swear to you, he said quietly, I never touched her. Not once. I didn't even know she was capable of this. I know, I said, voice small, but I can't marry you today. Not like this. His face crumpled, but he nodded. I'll wait as long as it takes. That was the moment something inside me shifted. Beneath the wreckage of humiliation, a slow clarity was forming. Agnes had wanted to destroy my peace. She'd wanted me broken, angry, desperate. I wouldn't give her that satisfaction. Shelley appeared at the door, still clutching her tablet. Are you mad at me? She asked, eyes wide. Mad? I shook my head. You saved me, sweetheart. Her lip trembled. Mom's going to hate me. My mother knelt and pulled her close. No, baby, she whispered. Your mom made choices. You told the truth. Outside, the church had started to empty. Guests filed out in stunned silence, avoiding eye contact. News spread faster than we could move. Phones buzzing, cameras flashing. My cousin Trevor appeared in the doorway, phone in hand. It's online, he said, face pale. Someone recorded the whole thing. It's viral, millions of views already. I should have felt violated. Instead, I felt still, like the world had paused long enough for me to decide what came next. What are they saying? I asked. That Agnes is a monster, that Shelley's a hero. My mother winced. People will forget, she said softly. No, I said, standing. They won't, and maybe that's okay. Because as the weight of everything pressed in, my ruined wedding, my shattered family, the pity in strangers' eyes, I realized something brutal and freeing. I wasn't powerless. Agnes had tried to write my downfall into the story of our family, but Shelley had recorded the truth, and I could decide what to do with it. For the first time that day, I took a full breath. The damage was already done, but maybe, just maybe, I could choose how deep it went. Somewhere inside the church, a janitor started cleaning up flower petals from the aisle. Their faint rustle carried through the open window, soft, steady, ordinary. That sound reminded me life was still moving, and so was I. The next morning, the city woke up to my family's disaster. I woke up to silence. My phone blinked nonstop on the nightstand, hundreds of missed calls, messages, and links, but I didn't open a single one. I wasn't ready to read what the world thought of me yet. I wasn't ready to see my pain turned into entertainment. By noon, my mother arrived with breakfast I couldn't eat. My father brought Shelley, who refused to let go of my hand. "You're not mad at me, right?" she asked again, her eyes too old for 9. "Never," I said. "You told the truth. That's never wrong." When they left, I stood by the window, looking out at the city that had already made us a headline. The videos from the wedding were everywhere. "Viral church betrayal," the caption said. Agnes's face, my sister's face, was looped endlessly online. People were arguing in the comments. Some pitied me. Others dissected every second like it was a movie. That night, Ramona called. "It's bad," she said gently. "But this is also your moment to take the narrative back." "Not revenge," I said. "Just truth." "Then tell it right," she replied. So we did. Together, we built a clean website. No anger, no insults, just evidence. The truth about Agnes Hartley. 17 videos, 17 pieces of proof. Each one uploaded one day at a time with short context lines written in my own calm voice. The first post went live at midnight. Agnes rehearsing her announcement in front of the mirror, laughing. "It has to be during the ceremony. Maximum impact." By sunrise, it had 2 million views. People didn't just watch, they reacted. News outlets picked it up. Comment sections turned into rallies of strangers defending me, defending Shelley. Video by video, the world saw the full picture. Agnes's cruelty wasn't impulse, it was strategy. In one clip, she talked about planting my belongings in Hudson's car to stage evidence. In another, she mocked Frank behind his back, rolling her eyes as he brought her tea. By day 7, local news called me the calm bride who fought back with reason. By day 10, national shows wanted interviews. I said no. The videos were enough. Frank filed for divorce by day 12, citing emotional manipulation and cruelty. He also petitioned for full custody of Shelley, with my father's testimony and the recordings as evidence. Agnes lost her job the next day. Her firm released a statement about integrity and moral standards. But I didn't celebrate, not even when the final video reached 15 million views. I just watched it fade into the noise of the internet, another story people would move on from. That night, my father sat beside me. "You've done enough, Maddie," he said. "Let time handle the rest." I wanted to believe him, but I couldn't shake one thought. Agnes had acted alone, but someone had given her permission to believe cruelty was justified. Someone older, colder, who had whispered that I wasn't good enough for happiness. I thought the story ended when Agnes lost everything. I was wrong. 6 months later, Frank called. His voice was tight. "You need to come over, Maddie. Bring Hudson." We drove in silence. Shelley was inside, clutching her dinosaur plush like a shield. "She remembered something," Frank said, "about her mom and a man." Shelley's voice was small but clear. A few weeks before the wedding, Mom met someone. He gave her money, an envelope full of cash. He said, "If you can break them up before the wedding, the rest is yours." I felt the floor tilt. Someone paid her? Frank nodded. $10,000, cash deposit, no name. And in that instant, I knew. "Lorraine," I whispered. Hudson's mother. The woman who'd smiled at me over champagne while quietly despising everything I represented. Hudson went pale. No, she wouldn't. But she would. And she had. Agnes confirmed it days later over coffee. "She found my weakness and paid for it," she said flatly, sliding me a flash drive. "Every conversation recorded. I'm done being her weapon." The recordings were worse than I imagined. Lorraine's voice was cold, instructing Agnes on every move. How to phrase the lie, when to stand, how to twist the knife. It wasn't jealousy. It was control disguised as love. Hudson listened in silence, then said, "We go public." So we did. We held a small press conference, just us, the truth, and the evidence. I told the story calmly, every fact laid bare. When the recordings played, reporters didn't even take notes. They just stared. Lorraine's reputation collapsed within days. Charities cut ties. Her friends disappeared. Even her husband filed for separation. But when she sent me a handwritten letter months later apologizing, I didn't feel anger, just distance. She said she'd learned what it meant to lose everything. Maybe she had. Agnes slowly rebuilt her life. Shelley came to live with us, filling the quiet corners of our home with laughter again. One night during a storm, Shelley asked, "Do you think Mom will ever be okay?" "I think she's trying," I said. "And maybe that's enough." Hudson squeezed my hand. "You know what the best revenge is?" I smiled, being happy despite them. Outside, the rain eased. Inside, we were safe, quiet, and whole again.